South Korea just shocked the world with what they're building. But here's what almost nobody is talking about. While everyone is watching China and Japan, a country smaller than the state of Indiana is quietly running the entire planet. Not leading it, running it. Because here's the truth, nobody tells you. Every iPhone, every AI system, every electric car, every ChatGPT response, none of it works without South Korea. And while you've been distracted, they've been building something even bigger. A robot army, flying taxis, a machine that burns hotter than the sun, and a killer robot that guards the most dangerous border on Earth. Once you see what South Korea is actually doing, you'll never look at the world the same way again. The future isn't coming, it's already here. And the 51 million person country is running it all. Let me start with something that will stop you cold. Right now, you're probably using something powered by South Korea, and you have no idea. Every time you use ChatGPT, search Google, or scroll through any app powered by AI, you're using Korean technology. Because here's what nobody tells you. South Korea produces 70% of the world's memory chips, and 90% of the special chips called HBM, the exact chips inside every single NVIDIA GPU on Earth. Companies like Samsung and SK Hynix make them. And without those chips, there is no AI, no ChatGPT, no Google DeepMind, no self-driving cars, nothing. If South Korea switched off tomorrow, the global tech industry would collapse within weeks. Think about that. One country, 51 million people, holding the entire digital world in their hands. And Samsung just announced a $230 billion investment in AI infrastructure through 2030. That's more money than the entire GDP of most countries on Earth. Do you think that's impressive? Well, here's something that will make your jaw drop. Most people think Boston Dynamics is an American company. The viral robot videos, the backflips, the dancing. You've seen them. Everyone assumes they're made in America. But here's what they don't tell you. Hyundai, the South Korean car company, bought Boston Dynamics in 2021 for $880 million. They own it. And now they've built something incredible. Meet the new Atlas, the world's most advanced humanoid robot. It stands 6 feet tall and weighs 200 pounds. It can lift 110 pounds. It works in temperatures from -4 degrees all the way to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's the part that sounds impossible. When one Atlas robot learns a new task, every single Atlas robot in the entire fleet learns it instantly. At the same time, like a hive mind. Hyundai is now building a factory that will produce 30,000 of these robots every single year by 2028. That's like filling a medium-sized city with humanoid workers. And the price tag? Already committed. All 2026 deployments are fully booked, every single one. But wait, there's more. Hyundai didn't just build a humanoid, they built a robot that drives into fire. Imagine this. A building is burning, flames at 1000 degrees Celsius. No human firefighter can enter, but this machine can. Meet Hyundai's unmanned firefighting robot. It's a 6-wheeled autonomous ground drone built on a military chassis. It drives itself straight into an inferno. But here's what's absolutely incredible. The robot constantly sprays itself with water, keeping its outer temperature between 50 and 60 degrees Celsius even when the fire around it exceeds 1000 degrees. It uses thermal imaging cameras that see straight through smoke. It maps escape routes for the firefighters behind it. It's already been donated to real fire stations in South Korea right now. And Hyundai has already donated 4 units to fire stations across the country. That's not a concept. That's a robot saving lives today. And if you think firefighting robots are impressive, wait until you hear what South Korea put on its border with North Korea. The Korean Demilitarized Zone is 250 kilometers long. It is the most heavily militarized border on Earth. Every 50 meters, a guard post, 2 soldiers, 12 shifts a day. For decades, humans stood in the cold watching the darkness. Not anymore. Meet the SGR-A1, the world's first autonomous sentry robot, built by Samsung. It has heat detectors, motion sensors, low-light cameras, and pattern recognition software that can identify and track a target from 4 kilometers away during the day and 2 kilometers at night. It carries a machine gun and an optional grenade launcher. It can detect when someone crosses the line. It can demand a password, and if the answer is wrong, it doesn't need to ask a human what to do next. The exact number of units deployed is classified, Nobody knows how many of these things are out there watching in the dark. But here's what's scary. The company that made it? Samsung. The same company that made your phone. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. South Korea doesn't just have the world's most dangerous border. They have the world's most robot-filled factories. South Korea has the highest robot density of any country on Earth. 1,000 robots per every 10,000 workers. That's 10 times higher than the global average. But here's the crazy part. They're not stopping at factories. In Seoul right now, you can walk into an office building and a robot called the Dale will bring you your coffee. It navigates through hallways on its own. It calls the elevator itself. It rides up, finds your floor, and delivers your order without a single human involved. And when it's done, it goes back to its dock alone. At the same time, in parking garages across Seoul, Hyundai's parking robot is lifting cars by their wheels and sliding them into spaces that no human driver could ever fit. And when you come back, it retrieves your car in under a minute. Oh, and one more thing. The same building has an automatic charging robot that reads your license plate, finds your electric car's charging port, and plugs itself in without you ever stepping outside. But South Korea didn't stop at making robots that handle your car. They made robots that handle your food. At highway rest stops across the country, robot chefs are cooking 150 meals per hour. That's nearly double what any human cook can produce by hand. They run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never get tired. They never call in sick. And their shift never ends. On the streets of Seoul, Nubility's newbie delivery robots are rolling through neighborhoods right now. A customer places an order on an app. The robot finds the restaurant, picks up the food, navigates traffic and sidewalks using 3D mapping technology, rides the elevator, and delivers straight to your apartment door. If South Korea has replaced your cook and your delivery person, here's something that might surprise you even more. They're replacing your commute too. Seoul is one of the most traffic-choked cities on Earth. Commuters spend up to 90 minutes a day sitting in gridlock. Not for long. Meet Supernal, Hyundai's air mobility division. They've built the SA2, a 5-seat electric flying taxi with 8 tilting rotors. It cruises at 120 miles per hour, at 1,500 feet above the traffic. And here's what's absolutely incredible. It produces just 45 decibels of noise in flight. That's quieter than the ground traffic below it. Kakao Mobility, Korea's version of Uber, has already ordered 50 of these aircraft for $250 million. Demonstration flights over Seoul's Han River have already begun. Commercial launch is set for 2028. And just imagine this. You book your seat on an app, walk to a vertiport by the river, board, and in minutes you're looking down at the gridlock that used to steal 90 minutes of your day. And if flying over traffic isn't enough, how about this? South Korea is also building fully driverless robotaxis right now on the streets of Dallas, Texas. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 robotaxi, powered by autonomous driving tech from startup Avride, is already operating with real passengers through the Uber app. No driver, no steering wheel being touched. Just a Korean car driving itself through an American city. And South Korea's government has already announced plans to launch commercial autonomous vehicle services nationwide by 2030. But here's something that will give you goosebumps. While other countries are still debating whether AI is safe, South Korea is using it to keep elderly people alive. Meet the LG CLOID. This home assistant robot has 2 arms, 7 degrees of freedom per arm, and 5 fingered hands. It's designed specifically to handle the delicate tasks of elderly care, folding laundry, picking up objects, helping someone from a chair. LG calls its vision the Zero Labor Home, a home where robots handle every repetitive task so humans can spend their time on things that matter. The CLOID doesn't just do chores. It watches, it learns, it adapts to the person it lives with. And with South Korea aging faster than almost any country on Earth, this robot isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. But South Korea didn't just build a robot to live with you. They built one to work alongside you. Meet the X-Bull Shoulder, a wearable robotic exoskeleton made by Hyundai. Workers strap it on, and suddenly, they can lift and hold overhead loads without destroying their backs. It's already being used at Korean Air, the national railway, and farms across South Korea. Airline workers who used to spend 8-hour shifts reaching overhead into cargo bays are wearing this system and going home without injury. Farmers who used to age out of physical work in their 50s are putting on the X-Blade and working well into their 60s. It's not replacing humans. It's making humans superhuman. But wait, if you think exoskeletons are incredible, here's what will really shock you. South Korea is building an artificial sun. No, really. In the city of Daejeon, there is a machine called KSTAR, the Korea Superconducting Tokamak Advanced Research Reactor. It creates nuclear fusion, the same process that powers stars. And in early 2024, KSTAR held plasma at a temperature of 100 million degrees Celsius for 48 consecutive seconds. Let that sink in. 100 million degrees. That is 7 times hotter than the actual core of our sun. No other machine on Earth has held plasma that hot for that long. Their ultimate goal is 300 seconds by 2026. Why does this matter? Because if they achieve it, fusion power becomes real. And fusion power means unlimited clean energy, forever. No oil, no gas, no carbon. Just energy from hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. South Korea isn't just building the future. They're building the power source for the entire future. Well, if South Korea is building the sun, here's what they're building in the sky. South Korea launched its Nuri rocket in 2023, and here's what makes it extraordinary. Every single part, the engines, the fuel systems, the guidance computers, was designed and built entirely in South Korea. No foreign technology, no borrowed parts, no American engines, no Russian components. South Korea joined a tiny club of countries that can send their own rockets to orbit completely independently. They're targeting a lunar landing mission by 2032, and their space budget increased by 43% in 1 year. A country smaller than Indiana, building rockets, launching satellites, planning to land on the moon. And while they're reaching for space, they're also reshaping the sea. South Korea builds 40% of the world's ships, the largest cargo vessels on Earth, the biggest tankers, the most advanced container ships. And now, they've gone further. Hyundai Heavy Industries launched the world's first autonomous cargo ship, a massive vessel that navigates open ocean on its own, using AI to plot routes, avoid obstacles, and dock in port without a captain giving orders. Think about that. The ships carrying everything you buy at every store were likely built in South Korea. And now those ships are learning to sail themselves. But here's where it gets truly wild. South Korea secures 60% of all CES 2026 Innovation Awards, the biggest technology conference on the planet. 4,500 companies from 160 countries all competing. And South Korea walked away with more than half the prizes. 8 out of 15 robotics awards alone went to Korean companies. This isn't a fluke. South Korea has been ranked 4th in the Global Innovation Index in 2025. For a country with 51 million people, that is extraordinary. By comparison, the United States has 6 times the population and enormous resources. And South Korea is right behind them in innovation. Now let's talk about something that runs deeper than robots or rockets. South Korea launched the world's first commercial 5G network back in 2019. Not China, not America, South Korea. And while everyone else is still rolling out 5G, South Korea is already leading the race to build 6G, targeting commercial launch by 2030, a full decade ahead of most countries. Their 6G network will be 50 times faster than 5G. Downloads that currently take seconds will happen in microseconds, and they're already building the infrastructure for it right now. And then there's Songdo, a city that doesn't feel real. Built from scratch on reclaimed land near Incheon, every single building in Songdo is connected. Garbage travels underground through pneumatic tubes, no trash trucks, no collection days, no smell. Traffic moves on its own because the streets think, buildings communicate with each other. The entire city generates and tracks its own data. It was designed not as a place to live, but as a living system. And it works. Songdo is the blueprint that every country on Earth is now trying to copy. But here's something that will surprise you. You've heard of K-pop, BTS, Blackpink, the biggest music movement on the planet. But here's what nobody tells you. K-pop is a technology industry as much as a music industry. Hybe, the company behind BTS, built a platform called Weverse, an AI-powered fan experience engine with 50 million active users globally. The AI learns each user's preferences, their language, their favorite artists, their engagement patterns, and it personalizes every single interaction. K-pop generates $10 billion annually, almost entirely powered by Korean tech. They didn't just build the biggest music genre in the world. They built the world's most sophisticated fan engagement machine. And here's the final thing that should make every other country pay attention. In 2025, South Korea was ranked 4th in global innovation. Samsung invested $230 billion in AI alone. Hyundai is mass-producing humanoid robots. Their chips power every AI system on Earth. Their ships carry the world's goods. Their flying taxis are months from launch. Their artificial sun is running at 100 million degrees. And a robot with a machine gun is guarding the most volatile border on the planet in the dark right now. All of this in a country smaller than Indiana, with 51 million people. China has 1.4 billion. America has 330 million. And South Korea is running the world's technology with 51 million. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning. Every single one of these technologies is about to get cheaper, faster, and more powerful. But here's the question nobody is asking. When one small country controls the chips that run every AI system, owns the robots that will work in every factory, builds the ships that carry everything you buy, and guards its border with autonomous weapons in the dark, how much of the world is already South Korea's? And are you ready for what happens when the rest of the world finally notices?